Hey, pal, I got a question for you, and I'm really excited about it.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
Is it time for us to do Who Are These Creepos? Creepos!
That is right, Vinnie Paulino. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up from where I left off last time because my internet connection did not allow me to present this correctly. Crime Stories with Nancy Grace. Now, Nancy Grace is this crazy opportunist. I brought this up last time. This episode is about Casey White and Deputy Vicky White, who escaped from an Alabama prison together. And Deputy Vicky White actually helped Casey escape because they were going to go live a life. They were lovers. They were going to go live a life together. She was retiring from her job. She was great at her job. Everyone loved her, but she fell in love with this guy who was a convicted murderer. And they were just going to go off and live a great life together.
You know, that's what happens when people retire. They always feel like they want to take a part of work with them.
Right. It's hard. It's hard to stop, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why Nancy Grace did an episode about this is because Casey White, because they were caught and she died. And so Casey White got a plea deal that he was able to get away from having any type of felony murder charges in the death of Vicky White. So just because of that, Nancy Grace said, "Oh, I'll just replay a bunch of clips from my older episodes about these two, and I'll milk that a little bit."
Oh, Nancy.
I know. But let me start off with a little promo she does in the middle of this episode. She's got something really cool coming up. And again, she's just a crazy opportunist. She finds any angle she can to get people to listen to this shit.
Please join us now on Fox Nation for a brand new investigation, Parallels of Evil, the Bundy and Idaho killings. In this gripping special investigation, we bring together an incredible panel of guests who analyze disturbing similarities of evil between these horrible crimes.
All right, so what she's trying to do here, I'm sure you heard that.
One of those members of the panel is my daughter, who is alive and well and doing quite well. We're going to talk to her about how good her life is and how good it is she wasn't murdered in a sorority.
Before we make it about her, though, so you got Brian Koberger, this guy who murdered 4 co-eds. Allegedly, hasn't been convicted yet. And she's comparing him to Ted Bundy. Minnie, do you think there's a lot of parallels between those two? I think she just wants to use Ted Bundy to get people to fucking watch this new thing she's doing.
Oh, you don't think that hashtagging Bundy's not going to bring in the hits for Nancy?
That's what she's
doing.
Dude, Ted Bundy is so different than Brian Koberger.
Ted Bundy is like a charismatic dude.
Yeah, he was able to get pussy. Brian Koberger's an incel.
He has the fucking personality of one of Carl's club toes.
Right. And he wasn't raping these women. He wasn't on a killing spree across multiple states for years. I mean, you know more about Ted Bundy than I do, but this is ridiculous. This is even a comparison.
I heard that that he had a real based move, Carl, that he used to do at parties, this Koberger.
Yeah.
I was reading some stuff up on him, and he would walk up to girls at parties. This is the game he had. And he would go, "May I please have your address?"
People don't want to give out their addresses right away.
That was literally his opening, like lied to girls, whether he was doing it sarcastically or whatever. I think it's funny.
Not a great move.
It's a funny way to meet people. Hey, how you doing?
Funny way to meet people.
How you doing? What's your address?
Hey, tell me where you live. What's going on?
Which window is yours?
My name's Carl. Tell me where you live. Oh, we got a competition going on right now.
Yeah, we do. De La, thanks for the $10.
Never vote for Vinny. Hell yeah, De La.
Well,
that's right, buddy.
I gotta say, Bill Lodi just came in. Thanks for the $20, Bill. Always vote for Vinny. He's right.
Shit, partner.
Bill Loney. Wow. Thank you very much, guys. Let's keep the debate going of whether or not you should vote for Vinny. I say no. All right. Getting back to this promo. So I need Nancy to sell me on this. Why would I want to listen to more rehashed Ted Bundy shit and Brian Koberger stuff?
One neighbor shares exclusive insights about the suspect in the Idaho killings, Brian Koberger. Don't miss Parallels of Evil.
Oh, wow. So there's going to be a neighbor. What's he going to say? I don't know. He's pretty quiet, kept to himself. An exclusive interview with a neighbor. Well, I don't want to miss that, Vinny.
Yeah, because the neighbor hung out with the stupid teenage incel from across the street. I'm sure they were best buddies.
I'm sure they were. It's always the most exciting stuff to hear from the neighbors. Oh, I never would have guessed it. No.
Oh, that kid across the street. He always seemed so nice when he was just like mowing his lawn and staring vacantly at the sky.
Yeah. Oh, wow. What are the chances? All right. So
They're damn good. All of you live near murderers. Everybody lives near a murderer somewhere.
Correct. Or they listen to your podcast and you find out about it later. But it happens.
It certainly does.
Now, Vinny, what happened was these two escaped from prison. They had a getaway car. They painted the car. They were able to get about 2 hours away from the prison they were in Alabama. They made it to Tennessee. And then they ditched the car off the side of the thruway. And they got out on foot and started going. And then they got caught by the police.
What a stupid fucking place to ditch your car on the thruway.
Yes. And that's a big part of this episode, because what Nancy does is she goes back and she replays before they knew all the details, the interviews she was having with police and different people, various people who were investigating this. Okay. So it starts off with her explaining that he should be charged with felony murder, even though he did not kill her. But she explains why he should still be charged with felony murder.
The perp may not intend for any death to occur. I always give this great example. Let's just say Jackie and I decide to rob a bank, and we make it very clear nobody gets hurt. We go into the bank, and all of a sudden Jackie gets a wild hair and starts shooting an Uzi and kills a bank teller. I look at her like, have you lost your mind? Well, long story short, after we're caught racing away like Thelma and Louise, I'm busted for felony murder. I was committing a felony and a death occurred. Whether I wanted it to or not, I'm on the hook for felony murder.
That's the example she always gives. You know, we walked into a bank with Uzis just planning on robbing it, and then Jackie over here starts shooting up the place. What the fuck?
I never want to hear her say the word Uzi again. It is so gross.
So stupid.
And I feel like the way she says it is like the same way she says it, like at the end of a hand job.
Ugh.
It's an Uzi.
I hate that was where your mind went just now. Listening to Nancy Grace talk.
Nancy,
and that's what you're thinking about?
Old
hand
handy
jobs?
Nancy.
You could ejaculate all over Nancy later. Let's finish up this this podcast review, because the example that I always give when I explain that, like, if a murder or a death occurs during a felony, it's felony murder. Is like, okay, so say like you want to intimidate some of your classmates, so you bring your AK into high school, and look, you're just trying to get a rise out of them. You know what I mean? But then they say some really fucked up shit to you.
Yeah, like your mom's ugly.
What did you just say to me?
I said your mom is ugly.
Wait, what the fuck did you motherfucker? All right, I want to go this time. I want to slide. What a weird example that was for Nancy.
And that shit, Grace gets a wild hair up her behind and just starts laying lead all into the guards.
So she really wants this guy to be convicted of yet another murder charge. And then she explains what actually happened.
And a poor woman holding her baby from Tuscaloosa, riddled with
out,
bullets. I got you back.
As it turns out, it was by her own gun, shooting herself dead as authorities closed in on the two. Even so, that's textbook felony murder. So in exchange for the guilty plea on escape, he has his murder charge dropped.
So if she's trying to convince me that this is a bad plea deal, I'm not convinced, because this woman killed herself. This woman shot herself when she was confronted with the police.
Yeah. If suicide isn't a crime,
well,
you can't be charged with suicide.
No. Well, right. I mean, it is a crime, but no, this guy did not commit suicide. She did. Anyway.
All right.
So I thought that was really stupid. Now we are going to rewind back to an older episode when she's interviewing people about this case. And dude, Nancy is borderline retarded.
You don't say.
Dude, I mean, listen to this clip.
I mean, she still calls them Uzis, Carl.
This is insane.
A couple of quick things based on what we just heard. Where the car was found in Florence, that is north of Lauderdale County.
Well, Florence is actually the county seat of Lauderdale County. The car was found in Bethesda, Tennessee, which is about a 2-hour drive north of Florence.
Okay. Well, you know what? I got that half right. Hold on. So that was in Bethesda, and you're saying it's 2 hours north, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Would that suggest to you, Sheriff, that they are, in fact, headed north? because no way would they go 2 hours north and then turn back and circle back down, let's just say, to get lost in Florida. They're definitely traveling north. Wouldn't you agree with that?
That's the indication from where the car was found.
I mean, I couldn't believe my ears. I was listening to this, Vinny. She goes, so wait a second. Do you think they were heading north because they found the car 2 hours north?
Do you think she was a good lawyer? Like, do you think she wasn't actually like a good lawyer?
What a moron.
Because like I'm listening to this, I'm going, this person's not smart.
No. What a fucking idiot.
Where do you believe they were heading north when they were not 2 hours north of where they started?
So do you think that they were heading in that direction? Yeah, they must have been for like 2 hours, Nancy. Yes. No shit. All right. So then later on, she shows that she's really bad at maps. Like Nancy has a real hard time with maps for some reason.
The interesting thing is for the last 9 months, I've been driving through Bethesda for a project I was working on towards Spring Hill. So I'm very familiar with that, kind of like with that route. And it's a very rural area, but it is close to the interstate in Spring Hill.
So what interstate was it, Sheriff?
I-65.
And that's just 3 miles south of Nashville and Franklin.
It was three miles east of I-65. It's about 20 miles south of Nashville.
Where will I-65 take you, Sheriff? If you follow it, where will it go?
I-65 originates in Mobile, Alabama on the southern end, and it goes into Chicago.
Okay. I'm learning a lot right now.
And how many square miles is the state of Tennessee? I'd have to look that one up, Nancy. I don't know.
Now, if I were to leave Chattanooga at 2 p.m., driving north on 65.
What are these fucking questions? Jesus Christ. She's so stupid.
What a riveting interview. Who doesn't say Nancy doesn't get the scoop?
Jesus. She gets experts on and then asks them where 65 ends.
I believe that's Chicago. But the fact that he knew that, I mean, the fact that he didn't pull out his gun and shoot her.
What he should have said is, who gives a shit? I don't know. They weren't going there. I don't know. I don't tell you.
Oh, God. All right. Well, let's catch up on Super Chats real quick. Dead Fool, thanks for the $20. Why would someone leave a vehicle in one direction, then head in another to mislead the cops? Oh, wait. All right.
Yay, Super Chats.
Thank you, Dead Fool. Dayla's back. Vinny talking about hand jobs is a reason to vote for Carl.
Thank you, Dayla. Agreed.
Thank you for the $5. Bill Loney for $5 says the faint hope of getting a handy from Vinny is reason to vote for Vinny.
Guys, if these two guys had their own podcast about who to vote for on the creep off, a little after show.
Okay.
That would be great.
Ted Scheckler. Thank you, Ted. Says Nancy asked the questions we're all thinking.
She most certainly does not.
Thank you for the $2.
So basically what happens is,
oh, she's gold.
They're going down 65. They abandon the car just off the road. They'd spent a couple hours painting the car. They obviously wanted to get away in this car. That was obviously their hope.
Right.
But Nancy thinks they must have done it on purpose because they had a whole plan they were going to execute. And she brings on this person and forces her to agree with her. So I don't even know why you have a panel if you're just going to tell the person to agree with you.
I have no doubt they found another vehicle, stole they did something that got them to be able to travel away.
Do you think they had a plan B? Just boil it down for me, okay? Because I'm just a JD. You're the shrink. Plan B or no plan B?
Yes,
very simple.
I think
yes,
they
no.
had a plan B.
Yes, you think there was a plan B. Okay, Sheriff Singleton, you know what else I think was planned?
So I love it that she's like, just say there's a plan B because I have a whole thing that I want to get to here. And I really need you to agree with me.
And I want you to tell me what you think their plan B is so I can tell you that you're wrong and what mine is.
Yes. So this is great because she goes into a whole thing with the sheriff going, I bet what they did is they ditched that car, so they get another car, they had it all set up. And the sheriff explains how stupid that is.
Think about the abandoned car. The thing that questions me, if they were going to abandon it for a plan B, why would they risk driving it for 2 hours? I guess assuming we might get a identification on the car sooner. It looks like they would have ditched it a little closer, but
yeah. So the sheriff's like, no, that's actually really stupid because it wasn't very far off the expressway and someone called it in immediately. And that's why we were able to catch up with them. And also, why would they drive for 2 hours knowing that we were looking for that vehicle? Doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would they plant another car 2 hours away? Nancy, what are you thinking here? This is so dumb.
Carl, I'd be careful about you because Nancy Grace is in the chat.
Oh, Jesus.
So
Oh,
she-
boy.
You will be speaking.
Hi,
with my
Nancy's
lawyer.
lawyer.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy's lawyer.
Hi, Nancy's lawyer.
Holy shit, that's funny. All right. So she's like, yeah, but there was nothing wrong with the car. She keeps saying, so there's no reason why they would get rid of it. And then the guy has to explain to her, well, that's just not the case.
You worked in law enforcement, ma'am?
He says the sheriff tells us it looks like it had a flat.
Yeah, it got a flat tire. That's why they ditched it where they ditched it. Not because they had some grand plan. And by the way, this goes on for 15 minutes where she's trying to piece together this grand plan. And everyone on the panel is just like, I don't know. I don't think so. Probably not. That's probably stupid.
Could you imagine what her show would be without a panel?
Oh,
just
God.
Retarded blathering.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
no
would
shit.
just be talking in circles and there would be no one there to help set her straight.
So, Vinny, I've only played you a couple clips, but I bet you know the answer to this.
Hold on. Chris Crimson, bitch doesn't know directions, definitely doesn't know Latin. Okay. I'm sorry. It's so good.
I bet you know the answer to this because Nancy doesn't. How long were they driving in that vehicle?
I believe it was 2 hours.
2
north.
hours is the right
Yeah,
answer.
2 hours.
How
north.
far north of Florence were they? Was it 2 hours?
Yes, it is about 2 hours.
Or was it 3? Was it 2 or 3 hours north? Sheriff,
Yeah, it's about 2 hours. The vehicle was found due east of Spring Hill, as the gentleman said, Spring Hill, Tennessee. So yeah, it's about 2 hours from Florence, Alabama to that location.
yeah.
She's like, oh yeah, okay. So anyway,
Are you sure not 3?
I'm like, Nancy, are you even listening to them? What the fuck?
Does
is
she think she's in court trying to trip him up or something?
Maybe.
What the fuck is going on?
Maybe. You said 2 hours. I gotcha.
Wow.
Yeah. So she sucks. And that's my presentation of who are these creepos. Always enjoy little Nancy Grace.
I'm crying over here, man. That was too funny.